Here's a video that might answer some questions for a very common question that comes up all the time. How can you validate mileage on an older vehicle? So let's backtrack a little. If you were following us, you know we had one of the probably best documented vehicles of a square body ever. It was an 87 C10 regular cab pickup truck. I bought it from the original owner with every single document from brand new, oil change receipt, inspection receipts, etc. So here's where this video leads. This is the title that he had since brand new. He bought the truck in 87. It was an 87. He bought it with 5 miles. He paid it off 3 years later. See the bank signed off. There's where they stamped the title when it was new. Now, this truck was showing 41,000 miles on the odometer and some change when he sold it to us. But he had such good documentation, we know it was 141,000. Could it have been sold for 41,000 miles? 1,000,000%. It was one of the nicest, cleanest, most original trucks you would find. But he knew it had 141,000 miles. But if somebody in the middle, unscrupulous, would have gotten this title and this truck, they could have easily made it 41,000. How's that the case? Well, one, it's only a 5-digit odometer. 5-digit odometer does not keep track of 100,000, 200,000, 300,000. Also, back then, no Carfax, no auto check keeping track of it. Also, past that point, if you didn't go into a major service shop, they would not record the oil changes and other things. Also, beyond that point, about 10 years ago, or maybe 15, is when DMV of Virginia started taking track of the Virginia state inspections, which also have mileage documented. So between all those factors, you really cannot take the mileage on a vehicle to heart. So people call us and they say, oh, I see your vehicle advertised for XXX miles. And we said, yes, that's what it shows. We never validate or document anything other than that for this exact fact right here. 5 miles. Easily, when he signed it over to us, he could have, on the other side, which has some personal information now I don't want to show, of the new buyer, we could have wrote in 41,000. He could have wrote in 41,000, but that's not proper. It is in excess of its mechanical limits. We know it's 141. It's going to go on the documents proper on our end of things, but this is the kind of situation. It could be a car, truck, anything. It just happens to be a vehicle that has an extreme amount of value, and it could be very easily fraudulent. We say that all the time about some of the stuff that goes to the auction. Unless the original owner was honest, you'll never, ever see an older vehicle that you can validate and document that the mileage is proper. It just won't happen. There's not enough paperwork involved. There's not enough people paying attention. This is also the reason mileage discrepancies are much less these days. Inspections, oil changes, registrations, Carfax, auto check. There's so many other things nowadays that police this kind of situation. But there's the proof in the pudding right there, guys. A 1987 title for an 87 vehicle. The original title where he paid it off 3 years later. Signet Bank, which is not even around anymore. Real deal stuff. And very easy to be fraudulent. So be careful when you're looking, when you're buying. If somebody has something that's too good to be true, and this would have been the case, like this truck would have passed for 40,000 miles all day long. There was no way to describe or dictate that it was any different. So that's the information. That's the deal. That's why you can't trust much of anything. Again, even if it's the original owner, what if he doesn't tell you the truth? What if he got Alzheimer's and forgot? What if a family member is selling it and they don't know any different? You really cannot take it but a grain of salt on mileage on older vehicles unless you have very good, proper documentation. Thanks, guys. Hopefully this saves somebody some heartache in the future. This was a great truck. If you haven't watched the video on this one, be sure to scroll back. 87 R10, technically we call it a C10, but a beautiful truck with a crazy amount of documentation. Thanks for watching.